Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Good afternoon, sir. Your Honor. My name is Jamar English.
Mr. English, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations of one count of aggravated assault of an officer and one count of criminal damage. Those are both Class 5 felonies, also one count of criminal trespass in the first degree, which is a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 30th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Preliminary hearing August 1st, 8:31 a.m. Mr. English, I am going to release you on supervised release with an electronic ankle monitor, so that should take place tomorrow morning when the individual gets here who will install the ankle monitor. Then because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You're not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You are not to possess any weapons. You must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued, and you must submit to DNA and fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Mr. English, do you have any questions?
I had a couple of questions in regards to my travels so you're appointing me on July 30th, 1 a.m. conference with the Supreme Court in downtown Phoenix. So I have to show up for a physical conference, or is it going to be something that is online?
No, this will be online. It's a status conference July 30th at 8:31 a.m. However, you can't leave the county.
Okay, I was actually planning to go see my mom because I was having a lot of mental stress with my job and the circumstances of just how the system was working, and to be honest, I just made a mistake, and I'm someone that doesn't have a previous criminal background because I grew up in an educational home where the first priority was for me to go to school, and so that's what I did. So unfortunately, I'm just in a circumstance where you would normally not see an individual like me. But based on how the system has been, if I'm being very honest with you, I've just been very oppressed in regards to my state of mind, in regards to the structure of the system and how it has been weighing on my mental process. And I just had a bunch of things that were snowballing in regards to my life, and it was very difficult for me to actually receive some form of mental help and psychiatric help for me to just express my feelings and emotions. And I turned to some substances that I wasn't very familiar with, and I'm not a drug user or anything like that. But I was just trying to seek some form of help for myself. And unfortunately, that situation ended up with me being here. Now, I was actually planning to go see my mother. Now, she lives in California. Is there any way, like I said, my word is bond. Is there any way for me to actually just go and visit her for a week and actually come back, and I will make amends? You have my word. I will go to court, and whatever circumstances you put me under, whether it be a bond or any form of legal system that you orchestrate, I'm willing to do. I just wanted to. There's just a lot of mental stress on me, and this situation is not indicative of my character, and I'm just seeking some help. And just some comfort, just from my parents and things like that.
So, Mr. English, I do see you don't have any sort of a record. My guess is, right, this was just maybe an extraordinarily.
I just reiterated those things because, like I said,
Mr. English, sorry, you're interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you, so
I apologize.
Yeah, so. what I'm saying is I don't see that there's any record. I'm taking you at your word that this was maybe a really bad day. But that being said, the allegations are very serious in this case. And so the state constitution requires me to determine what sort of bond or release conditions would be appropriate to protect public safety and victim safety. Often with these types of allegations, even without previous criminal history, there maybe would be a bond that would be set. Now, I'm not doing that. I'm not setting a bond. I understand why you'd want to go see your...
Thank you for that as well, too.
You're welcome. I understand why you'd want to go see your mother. However, at this time, your mother would maybe need to come visit you. Another judge can modify this. You have court 2 weeks from now, July 30th, 8:31 a.m. But I do find that the ankle monitor is required. It does require you to remain in Maricopa County.
Okay.
And so, I encourage you to get the mental health treatment or help that you are recognizing that you need. I don't want to stand in the way of that, but again, what I have to balance it with is protection of victims and the community, and so that's what I'm doing here by not putting a bond, but by putting the ankle monitor in place.
Okay, thank you.
If you're charged with a felony, you can't travel outside of state lines.
Okay.
So it wouldn't matter whether there's an ankle monitor or not in that regard.
Okay.
Okay? So I am going to keep the conditions and restrictions that I stated earlier.
Okay.
Any other questions, Mr. English?
And then once I go for the Supreme, it's 1 a.m., so I go...
No, it's 8:31 a.m. All the information will be in your paperwork. It's okay if you don't remember it right now.
Okay. And once I communicate with my attorney, who is going to be contacting me at my residence, or what will be the way?
You'll meet your attorney if you don't hire your own private counsel, which you do not need to. I've appointed you an attorney. You'll meet your attorney when you go to court on July 30th.
Okay. And then the judge in the process there are you able to explain to me some of the social dynamics?
Sure. So first of all, the prosecutor's office has to decide whether they're going to bring charges. They may do that at this time. They may not. They may wait and bring charges at a later date. I don't know whether that's going to happen yet. Then the status conference is really just a very initial hearing. It's a chance for you to meet your attorney. The charges would have been filed if that status conference goes forward. So it's really just more of a brief hearing. What's the next court date going to be? What are the next dates in general going to be in your case? Because you don't have any previous criminal history, more than likely you would be offered some sort of a diversion program. I can't guarantee that will happen. I'm just saying that that's often what happens in these cases. So you're innocent unless proven guilty. They probably will have certain options available to you, assuming that the charges are filed. And those options being that you could do certain things as opposed to taking this all the way to a final trial. If you want to take it to a final trial, though, you are certainly entitled to do that. So there's going to be a lot of different options. Your attorney is going to know it better than I am, and we'll be speaking with the prosecutor's office about the dynamics of the case, where it might go, et cetera. So, I can't really tell you more than that at this time.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not on trial on July 30th. There's not going to be evidence entered on July 30th. It's really just an initial hearing. There's not going to be witnesses, no jury, nothing like that on July 30th. It's just the very beginning of the case.
Okay. And then I see, because I'm not very familiar with any of this and how any of this works or any of this, the process. In your experience, what is the process like for individuals like me in regards to how long it takes for me to receive some form of either diversion or some form of like my time in regards to I serve, or like community service, or whatever form of treatment or whatever that I'm given? How long does that process, in your experience, take typically?
So, it really can vary. I can't give you any sort of a guideline. It's possible this is going to be done in less than a year. I think given this case, it's certainly possible that could be the case. That may not happen, though, so that's where, like, I really can't speculate and say, hey, I think 8 months or 6 months, or, I mean, again, I'm saying a year is a very average number. So without any guarantees that it's going to take a year, it's going to take more, it's going to take less.
Okay.
Any other questions, Mr. English?
No, I think that's about it. And you said the individual will be, there will be somebody that will be coming to put an ankle monitor on me, and by the morning, you said?
Correct. It'll be in the morning. I believe it's going to be around 10 a.m. is when the ankle monitor will be installed, and then you'll be released shortly after that.
Okay, copy that. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. English. All right. Nomi Cervantes and then Patrick Cahill will be on deck.
Hi.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Noemi Vázquez Cervantes.
Thank you, Ms. Cervantes. Ma'am, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. 1 count of possession or use of dangerous drugs and 1 count of organized retail theft. Those are both Class 4 felonies. Also 1 count of theft, control of property, a Class 6 felony.
Sorry. Sorry.
Oh.
What are why they arrest me, or where are my?
So these are the alleged charges.
Okay.
Okay. This is why. Yes. This is what the police are saying that you did.
Okay.
Okay. So I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference. That's your first hearing, July 30th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. You have a preliminary hearing August 1st at 8:31 a.m. I am going to release you on supervised release, so you should be leaving here in about 6 hours from now.
Okay.
Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're promising to comply with pretrial services supervision and to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you're not to return to the scene of the alleged crime. You are not to have any contact with any co-defendants, and you must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Ms. Cervantes, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Patrick Cahill and then Ryan Zamora will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Yeah, it's Patrick Cahill.
Cahill. Mr. Cahill, you're here on a Superior Court probation violation warrant for alleged violations of Term 1. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a probation hearing July 22nd, 8:30 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Cahill, I do see that you self-surrendered in this matter. I find that a release on your own recognizance is appropriate and best in this case. So you will be released in about 4 to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess any weapons, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. You must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department, and you must contact your probation officer within 72 hours of release. Mr. Cahill, do you have any questions?
No, that's about it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Ryan Zamora and then Raul Imperial will be on deck. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Ryan Zamora, 8.
Ms. Zamora. Ms. Zamora, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, which is a Class 4 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 30th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing August 1st at 8:31 a.m. Ms. Zamora, I'm going to release you on your own recognizance. That means you will be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Ms. Zamora, do you have any questions?
I do not. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you. Raul Imperial and then Ryan Martinez will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Raul Imperial.
Mr. Imperial. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations. 1 count of possession or use of narcotic drugs, a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, that's a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. Your case will be heard at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse, where you have a status conference July 30th, 8:31 a.m., and a preliminary hearing August 1st, 8:31 a.m. So, Imperial, I'm releasing you on supervised release, so you'll be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates, promising to comply with pretrial services supervision, you're not to possess any weapons, and you have the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Imperial, do you have any questions?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you. Ryan Martinez and then Melissa Kulos will be on deck. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Martinez.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Mr. Martinez, you're here on a Superior Court direct complaint arrest warrant. Your charges are 1 count of possession or use of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference July 30th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing August 1st, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, so you are going to be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You'll meet your attorney at your first hearing. You also have the standard conditions and restrictions of release, plus you're not to possess any weapons. Mr. Martinez, do you have any questions?
No, don't, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Good luck to you. You're welcome. Melissa Kulos. Oh, I have to edit this. Sorry, Giselle. Almost. Okay. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Melissa Kulos, 12.
Thank you, Ms. Kulos. Ms. Kulos, you are here on a Superior Court new case. However, I do not find probable cause for either of the allegations. Those would be possession, use of dangerous drugs, a Class 4 felony, possession, use of drug paraphernalia, Class 6 felony. Again, I do not find probable cause for those. Now, the prosecutor's office may still bring those charges at a later date. If they bring them within 48 hours, then I have appointed you an attorney, and you would have a status conference July 30th, 8:31 a.m., preliminary hearing August 1st, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. There's a reasonable chance that they won't bring charges. There's a reasonable chance that they will. So make sure to check with the court, find out if that court date is going forward. If it's not, then you don't need to go to court. Make sure to keep your address up to date, though, with the courts, because if they do bring charges in the future, they will reach out to your most recent address.
Okay.
Because I find no probable cause, there are no conditions or restrictions of release, and you will be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Ms. Kulis, do you have any questions?
No, good.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.